Hi Sachin.
Hi, Roshni. How are you?
Good, good. What about you? Doing good?
I'm doing great. Yeah,
How was your weekend?
uh, quite normal. I actually planned on going outside, but we canceled it last moment, so I was at home only. Yeah,
Okay. So that's a part of the game. That's cancellation happens and sudden plan that also works.
all the time, all the time.
Amazing. I'm glad. Sachin, thank you so much for showing up and giving your time for this interview.
Sure,
And I'll tell you the structure first, okay, so that
sure.
we both understand it. So, regarding your different job roles that I was going through your resume, that I could see like three, four different job roles you have done. So, I'm going to ask the question in chronological way, like in the job one, what you have done, okay, your achievements and objectives and all. Similarly, with job two and three. So it is not something that we are going so much deeper into that. I just wanted to understand, okay, what have you done and what was you hired for and what was your exactly the skill set and all, right? And later we'll also discuss about your objective, your dream, what you want to do, so that I get an idea, like okay, what exactly we're working on now.
Sure, sure,
Make
sure,
sense?
sure. Makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, what preparation you have done before for this interview?
Okay. So, quite about you, I've actually been previously following you on social media,
Yeah.
like on primarily on LinkedIn. I think you also are there on Instagram and other platforms. So I was kind of aware, okay, this person is doing something in this space. But then to get into the specifics, what I did was I just went onto the website and just found out everything that I could. I read through everything, and yeah, so that is how I prepared myself. I was actually even not expecting you on the call. I think when the other person texted me, that she
Mhm.
told me that we'll first have a call and then I'll set up the interview.
Mhm.
So I also noted down a couple of questions that okay, maybe this thing particular, if you could just give me a hint, I'll be able to connect the dots over here, and I'll be more prepared. But that's fine.
Yeah. So did I surprise you on the call?
A little bit, but yeah, that's
I
okay.
hope this is like in a positive way, not a negative way,
Yeah,
right?
no, no, positive.
Cool. I'm glad. All right. Okay. So, regarding from which job we should start first, I think in total you have there is like the freelance sales executive, which is you have worked in Truly Happy, which in 2021 to Jan 22.
Right.
Yeah. So, can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So one of my colleagues had actually started this company. This was a drop shipping type of a thing. He set up his online e-commerce store,
Mm.
and he was selling through that, and a lot of things were happening. So his was a very small startup. So he wanted me to do sales because we were obviously working in the same team, and he knew that I was good at sales.
Mhm.
So he actually brought to me the idea that hey, why don't you do sales for me? And at first I was a little like, okay, should I do it or should I not do it? But then obviously I wanted to help him as well. So we took up this offer, and what I was required to do is so when you go to a new website and you want to purchase something like from an Amazon, it's relatively easier because you trust the website, right?
Mm.
It's Amazon. But on these websites like To Be Happy, a lot of times what happens is that you add something to the cart, then you're like, maybe I should not, and then you go away. At those times, I am a representative who calls you. Hey, I think you've added this item to the cart, and this is the item. These are the features of the product. Do you actually have any objections? Sometimes they do have certain objections because of which they have not gone ahead with the purchase.
Mm.
And just to clarify those objections, calls were usually 5 to 10 minutes long, like not more than that, because the product price was also very, the relatively cheap product. I think
What
the
was the
highest
price
price,
point?
right?
What was the price point?
So these Aura rings,
Yes.
they basically for
Hmm.
sleep tracking and everything.
Right,
So
right.
he used to get them from China. Their
Okay.
cheap replica, $30, and he
Hmm.
used to sell it in Indian market. So those type of products.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So 5 to 10 minutes calls and sales used to take place. And let's say somebody buys the product. I used to again call them that, hey, you've already bought this product and
Hmm.
we have three more. So, that's like $90, but we can give you in $60 if you buy that. So upselling them and, just bringing out more of the revenue because when it comes to ad spend, the ad spend is obviously going to increase and increase. So by upselling, we can increase the margins and that what was I was supposed to do in the startup.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So moreover, in a Truly Happy, you work as a like more of a coordinator, like when
right,
the cart checkout happens and then when
right,
somebody is going through the sales process or not, then you just call them.
right.
Was it your first job?
No, it was not my first job. It was so if I like take you chronologically, from the starting, I actually started with my own platform that was named Trade Guide. So what I used to do is I used to do a lot of stock trading, like buying and selling of shares online back when I was in college. And I developed a lot of Excel sheets to, make better decisions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a lot of WhatsApp groups as well. So I used to post that, hey, I traded this and made this much of money. And they used to ask me that, okay, how did you do this? So I used to tell them that I have this Excel sheet. They sometimes offered that, hey, can I buy your Excel sheet? And after that, they started copying that sheet. So I
Mm.
kind of realized that, okay, this is not a very good way of doing something.
Business, yeah.
So I built a website, on React, and basically this online portal, what it does is it contains all the data in a single dashboard. So you don't have to go through an Excel sheet. You get all of that data in a single dashboard
Mm.
where you get all the numbers and their live numbers.
Mm.
And I used to charge subscription fee, like which was 500 to 700. I later increased it. So that was how it was going. That ran for about 4 months because unknowingly I was violating some terms and agreements set by the RBI and National Stock Exchange, and they
Mm.
told me that either you have to buy data from us, which is
Mm.
13.5 lakh rupees at that time, or you have to shut down this website. And I actually ended up shutting it down. So that was where I started, and that was in second year of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your background is technical, or you just like curiosity, or you just do it for the passion?
No, I mean I was in business management,
Okay.
BBA, business administration.
So building a website on WordPress or
No. I mean, you can't build this website on WordPress because it will be taking a lot of it. It requires a lot of backend, na.
Hmm.
So this was built on modern stack like React,
Okay.
React Node, and everything. Like so, it was proper web development. I took 2 months to learn that and just figure it out somehow.
Okay. So
Yeah,
this was in when you were in second year of your college.
right, right.
Okay. And which college you went?
So it was Calcutta University and Bhawanipur College in Kolkata.
Okay.
Right. So I hardly used to go to college. So most of my time was spent in this during the first and second year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So did you not like the studies or? Oh,
I was a good student up until let's say 10th, but it kind of became very monotonous to me after a certain point of time. I think business management, you if you are sort of good at studying, that you kind of realize that okay, college attendance is not mandatory.
hmm.
You obviously study in the last 10 days, so like why don't you do something
Yeah.
which kind of feeds into your curiosity? So I was doing it out of curiosity. After that, I also tried a couple of other things like
Mhm.
stand-up comedy, and yeah, that did not work out very well.
You do stand-up comedy?
I did. So I did a couple of paid shows. After that, I got my first. Okay, so a couple of free shows, and after that, I got my first paid show. And I did 2 to 3 paid shows. After which COVID came and social gathering were stopped. So I was in a situation where stand-up comedy was no longer an option.
So tell me one thing, then why you look so serious?
I look serious. I mean, that's just a genetic thing, I think, because
Okay.
uh, yeah.
Right. So that's how much you used to charge like per ticket when you took a
No,
pay?
so we are not paid per ticket. There are companies that organize these.
Mm.
Okay, so let's say PVR organizes this. So PVR would be charging per ticket 500, and PVR would be giving me a fixed piece of one show. So that for me was 10,000 rupees.
Okay. So is it something your passion you wanted to
No, I
follow?
think I was like my friends told me that hey, you're funny, like you crack good jokes. I thought that okay, like, and then I went on a open mic show, where he told me like one of my friends was also pursuing stand up comedy. He told me that why don't you go on stage and just do some storytelling. I went there, people kind of appreciated it, and then he told me that hey, if you do it a couple of more times, you can actually get paid for it. So I was like, okay, I mean this pays off, so so yeah. again, I was curious. I did about 5 to 6 open mic shows, which were free. Then one of him referred me to a college in Mumbai.
Hmm.
They invited me. I did a 3 day show over there, and over there I did a show. And the hotel and flights and everything was paid by them. I got paid 10,000 rupees a show, and then I came back. COVID came, and no, this was no longer an option.
Okay.
Yeah,
So can you, if I ask you, because we are on the call, so can you crack a joke for me?
I can crack a joke. I mean, we I do crack jokes all the time, but then I have to I have to think about it for a second. Like, what kind of joke do I crack?
Okay.
So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
so like,
Hmm.
okay, I'll tell you one joke. Right. So this is about one of my friend Nimesh, and he was talking to me that he's a video editor, okay, and he was talking to me about other things.
Just a minute. So you do you joke in English or Hindi?
Anything.
Or which
But then I
which
would be
language
I'd be
it
rather
actually suits?
I'd be rather more prepared to joke, and because अभी ऐसे आएगा नहीं.
Okay, cool. Just leave it. I was this was just wanted to see, okay. I just wanted to ask the question, okay, because you have tried it and you took some paid up projects as well. So why you did not, okay, I understand that COVID came and a lot of things, disruptions happened during that time. Why you did not take this online or pursue?
Yeah, so a lot of big comics were actually facing this problem when this is taken online. Either you have to be very big like Rahul Subramaniam or Anubhav Singh Bassi to get a contract from Netflix or Amazon Prime, which
Hmm.
I'm not. Or either you have to be on a spot where you have a large social media following.
Hmm.
Uh, Most comics don't actually have it until they get their first break. Also, apart from that, Zoom shows did not actually work for anyone, like not even like big comics, because what what started happening is people started recording, because these comic shows, like what you see online is just 10% of it.
Hmm.
The actual show is not released,
Hmm.
so that you visit the person and he can also use the same script multiple times, because it's very hard to come up with a 1 hour script where you can constantly make people laugh.
Right.
That plus any form of art, what I realized was, the any field in art is a lot biased. Maybe in acting, a lot of nepotism happens. Not primarily against it as well, but you need some form of connections. Plus, there is, if you want to make money, only top 1% or 2% actually end up making money.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not like, I actually wanted to be a little practical, so I did not actually
Hmm.
chose it for a long time.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Well, that's a good one. You must pursue it at least side by side, whatever you do. That's
right.
something, the hobby, which,
Yeah, yeah,
right. We were talking about truly happy role.
right,
Got an idea about there. Now, we'll talk about Iron Man lifestyle.
right. So Ironman Lifestyle is basically a coaching company, okay, and they primarily cater to men who are looking for personality development, development in communication skills, development in confidence, and these type of things. Now, in India, you especially realize there are a lot of people who are from engineering background, accounting background, and these people, although they're doing very well in their career, but they're not in a very social setting where they talk to people all the time, and they generally appear to be very underconfident in social situations.
Mm.
Okay, so Ironman Lifestyle was basically catering to that market. Okay, so when I saw about, so this was after my college, I was doing some freelance projects as well, and I saw this post that Ironman Lifestyle was hiring, and Ironman Lifestyle was a very small company at that point of time. They basically had 3 employees, including the founder. I was following the founder on social media. So I basically saw that, okay, he is hiring, and this could be a good opportunity for me to learn, because at a small company you get a lot more responsibilities, exponential growth, and a few other favorable factors.
Mm.
I applied, I got selected, and they asked me that, hey, when can you move to Delhi, because we next week. Then I kind of convinced my parents that I want to go there. So I moved to Delhi from Kolkata. I came to Delhi and I started working as a setter. So setter's job is basically we are getting a lot of leads from social media inbound. I need to talk to them and qualify them and send them to the closer because a lot of these are students. A lot of these are, they don't have the money to pay. And this was a high ticket program. At that point of time, we were charging 75,000 rupees plus GST. So my job was to qualify them, send them to the main closer. He would close the deal, and then the coaching process basically takes place. So that was the entire process. After about 2 months, I joined in October of 2021. After about 2 months, which was January of 2020, 20, December of 2021, I basically started closing deals on my own. So I did not set up every deal for the closer. I used to basically close half of them on my own as well. So if let's say a customer comes, client comes, who has a certain level of income, below that I would close, or above that I would send it to him. After like about 6 months, March, April, the primary closer of the company, he left. So I was the only person in the sales team. At this point, I started setting up these leads on my own and closing them on my own. Okay. So this process continued. And along with that, I also hired a couple of people for the company. I hired almost 8 people by the time I left, and out of them, actually 4 stuck by. So I hired them, and after that, I was also taking responsibility of account management, the regular interaction with these clients, in order to understand how they're proceeding with the program and what exactly they're lacking, what exactly are their problems, helping with retention because we wanted to retain more of our clients, and also doing a couple of things in marketing because I was the one who was talking to, let's say, 200, 300 clients by this time. So we had an agency which did our funnels and everything. So I was in constant communication with them because I kind of knew what our customers are exactly looking for. So that was entirely how it was going. After about a few months of that, I was managing a team of 4 sales associates. Out of them, one was a closer, 3 were setters. So setters, basically these 3 people, they used to qualify all the leads and send it to me and the other closer. And both of us closed the leads, and I used to keep a track of his closes, my closes, the setter's performance, incentive structure, and everything like that. In about November, I basically resigned from the company. In January, after serving my notice period, I left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many leads you used to get that time, and what was the conversion? Can you help me with this?
Right. So our conversion, so primarily, if I would have to say, we used to get around 150 to 200 leads per month.
Okay.
Okay. Out of these, our qualified leads would be hardly 30, 40. Okay. Because this, by the time I left the organization, the price was even higher. It was 1,20,000 that we were charging. And we used to convert our average conversion throughout the year in which I was there was about 70.
Was about 17.
17. Yeah, 17.
17. Okay. So that was the price point of 75,000, right?
Yeah, 75,000, and later it was increased to 1,20,000. 75,000 to 90,000, 90 to 1,05,000, 1,05,000 to 1,20,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And help me to understand it, okay? Like the lead that comes. So the entire appointment that somebody's like other agency people, they used to run ads for you.
Ads process started a little later. I mean, when I joined in, we were only getting leads through organic. Ads started a little later because when the price point we increased it after 90,000, what we started realizing was we need to run ads, and we were actually in this constant discussion. This was just getting delayed all the time that we need to run ads because we need to target people with a higher income if we want to raise the prices even more. Plus, we also are getting less qualified leads. So that was the primary reason we started, working with this agency.
Okay. And how this organically you were doing? What was your primary role into that?
Yeah, so in organic, I did not have any specific role. So the founder actually used to make content online, like on Instagram, on YouTube, and we had about 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, around 10,000 followers on Instagram. We used to drop the calendar link over there that, hey, you can book a call. And people used to book the calls. We get the forms. And my primary responsibility when I started was to filter out those calls that, okay, out of 100 calls that we've got 30 people who are actually making money and who are actually serious about the product. So I put forward them.
Okay. Okay. So basically, this was a direct book a call funnel. When your
Yes.
founder, they used to make a content and they give direct link to the Calendly and they book a call, and then you just talk to them in terms of like on Zoom call or first phone call you do.
First one was phone call and second one was Zoom call. The main call, so my call was primarily like 10 to 15 minutes just to qualify them. And afterwards, the second call, the closer call, which I started taking later, it is about an hour.
Okay. So when you started taking these calls on Zoom call, when was your first conversion and how was it? Was it a full pay or how
December.
this happened?
It was in December. So December we did a launch. Launch means a webinar in our jargons. So we did a webinar, and out of those webinar leads, the closer was taking leads, the existing closers, and I was also taking a few leads. And to be very honest with you, this person actually I did not convert. He came to me and he said that, hey, I need this product. You would send me to another person. Then another hour I'll have a discussion with you. Already had it. He already came on a call before and he did not buy at that time. Now later he came on a call and he told me that, hey, I've already had a discussion. You'd again put me on a call. Rather than wasting both of our times, why don't you just give me the payment link? I was like, okay, this sounds good. So I sent him the payment link, and he made the payment. So after that, the main closer, he told me that, hey, I mean, so you have closed your first deal. Why don't you just start closing them? And I kind of wanted to say to him that, hey, I did not actually close him, but I just thought that I need to level up anyways. So why don't you just start, closing them? So and after that, I got 11 conversions that month.
Okay. And what was your call duration? How this used to happen when you are
1 to 1.5 hour of call duration.
okay.
Yeah.
So what happens when you what do you see before pitching anybody? What are like major three things when you see, okay, this is coachable, pitchable, or sellable? What are those
In
points?
order to qualify or in order to
Maybe.
like
Okay, so for example, we are on the call on Zoom, right?
right.
And now you have asked some certain questions regarding finances, personals, whatever the procedure is. Now, when do you decide, okay, this person is a right person and I should pitch it?
Right. So, starting of the call, what I used to do is, so what we were actually facing was a lot of false information on calendar. Um, I've actually got people who said that monthly income is 3 lakh rupees. And then on the call, they actually revealed that, no, that was annual. Okay. So, things like those used to happen. So, getting on the call, the primary objective was to figure out the pain point and how long the person was exactly facing that. Second, what were they exactly doing and where they based? Okay, so let's say if somebody used to say that, hey, I'm living in Mumbai. Okay, oh man, great. I mean, I've lived in Mumbai for the past years. So where do you exactly put up in Mumbai? That kind of gives me a certain idea of their financial condition in Delhi. So if I get certain idea of their financial condition in Delhi as well. Uh, that was the secondary thing. And third was like, what do they exactly do? And fourth one that we had as a parameter was how do they behave on a call? So there were actually only 3 to 4 people that we had to reject because they were not coachable at all. I think. So in that cases, we actually used to reject people. But apart from that, these were the primary things that we used.
Okay, right. And what happens when somebody like what your primary objective during the call is take the full payment during the call, or when somebody says you, okay, maybe I'll take some time later and then I'll decide it. What do you used to do?
Okay. In this case, actually, our primary objective was to hard close them anyhow, and not hard close them being rude or something. But if we're on a call, we need to get that. Then we had a very strict culture for that. What I did was I made a lot of list of objection handling, how we can handle certain objections in certain ways, which are most potent and most useful. So the primary objective with which I go on a call, let's say, I'm on a call with you. My primary objective would be to take the complete payment. Okay. If that is not working out, if your financial situation does not actually allow you to do that, we would split it into two payments. And if not even that, we would split it into three payments for the 3 month course, where we would take 50% upfront on the first payment and rest 25%, 25%. So that was the final option. Obviously, all the leads did not close, but we were very aggressive on sales as such. Like if somebody told me that, hey, I need to think about it and everything, I used to handle all the objections. And even if after that they're not closing, I would tell them that, hey, you know what? I will talk to Kshitij and I will figure out something better for you. But you need to give me a guarantee for that, that you're actually serious about it. When they used to tell me that, hey, we're really serious about it. Okay, let's book a call on this date, this time. You'd be able to show up. And they'd say that, okay, I'll be able to show up. And then I would actually figure out some kind of a deal and maybe give them a little bit of discount. We also used to do one thing. For the 90,000 price point, I actually pitched them 1,05,000. And when it was 1,20,000, I was pitching them 1,50,000. So because they would always negotiate. I mean, most of our clients were Indians, so we always have this habit that we want to negotiate, and I used to just keep that room for negotiation. So yeah, that is how we were using them.
Okay, right. So, what was your? It's like specifically we're talking about this Ironman lifestyle only here during your job duration while you start closing the deals and all. What was your best moment? You remember that? Yeah, Roshni, like, yeah, this is something, right? I had a best day or best closing number of
Okay.
closings. What
Right.
was the
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
you remember?
Right. Okay. So this was in June. Okay. June we had a grand launch. We hit 50,000 subscribers, and we did a grand webinar that we're offering discounts like never before. We raised the pricing and then gave the discounts, so
Yeah.
practically practically selling for the same price. So we also got all the earlier leads that went away because they could not afford the product. Now they thought that, okay, this product is coming at a discount, so let's buy it. So they came to us. Uh, at this point, we were getting a lot of calls booked. So the setter that I had in my team, we had two setters, and they have the capacity to do 25 calls every day, which is the max that they can go. And they were getting, I think, around 80 calls every day. So like it became extremely difficult for us to manage, and they were sending the calls to me. I was having like 10 to 11, 12 calls every day. We
10
also
to
got
12 calls in a day.
yeah. So I came to office at 12.
Okay, so how the timings you were managing? 10, 12 calls.
Right. So I used to set a buffer of 20 minutes, and my primary objective. So whenever I usually go on call, my primary objective is to just close them and take the time because I have time. At this point of time, my primary objective was to close them, but also do it in an hour. Because if I exceed the time, I might miss out on the next lead. So that was how aggressively we were doing. At that point of time, we had a social media manager, we had another account executive because the team size increased, and all of them were sitting on calls actually, and they were doing the setup calls because we were getting so many leads. And I think this was primarily the second last day of the webinar, where most closes actually happen on the last and second last day. This was the second last day, and I called one person. His name was Akash Dutt. I remember specifically. Okay, so his name was Akash Dutt, and I told him about everything, the pricing. He said that, hey, I'll need to think about it. This is a little expensive for me. And then I had a discussion with him, handled the price objection, and then I kind of ended it with a follow up that, hey, let's follow up tonight later. Okay, later tonight, I'll send you a couple of videos, testimonials, which were. You watch them and you tell me that if it goes ahead well or if it doesn't go ahead. Also, I'm fine with that. His call was supposed to happen at 10, but it actually happened at 1 a.m. Okay. And we kept on texting that, hey, he was busy for a certain time. I got busy after that. So the call happened at 1 a.m. And I was on call for the whole day. So I was like completely drained out. But when you sit on call, you have to have a bright face and, smiling because that's what sales is. So I was kind of forcefully smiling and doing that call. And after about 30 minutes, he got converted. I sent him the payment link, and that was the final. I slept in the office itself. And later, the next day, we did the last day, and yeah, the webinar leads got over. So that was actually the best.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this happens on call. Cool. And so I'm still trying to understand it. 10, 12 calls, since you are saying that 40 to 45 minutes or sometimes this goes 1.5 hour as well. How did you manage this? Like, how do you start? Is this like how early you start taking calls?
11 in the morning.
Until
12, 1,
12 1? Like, I did not understand it. You
12,
start in morning time, 11 a.m.
yes. Morning time, we started at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And this was not like throughout the year. This was just during that webinar time.
Webinar time.
Yeah, that was just for like maybe 10 days.
Okay.
Let's stretch it to 10 days, 7 to 10 days. That was for. Apart from that, we had a schedule that was started calls from 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it went till 10 to 11 in in the night. Yeah.
Why this
Uh,
was like started at 2 p.m.? Why not early in morning time?
so a lot of these people actually get free in the evening because they're mostly working professionals, so they get free later in the evening. So 2 p.m. I used to come to the office. We used to do our morning drills and everything. She will CRM updating and everything, and then by the time it's like 3:30, 4 p.m., we actually started getting on calls.
Okay. And what was your highest commission you made? You were at full-time job this you were doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this month, June itself, I made my highest commission, which was around 1,10,000 rupees at a 6% commission.
Okay. And this was the commission. Okay, so this was the full time that you had to report to office as well, right?
Yes.
Or it's from work from home?
No, I had to report to the office.
Okay. It wasn't in Calcutta or?
Delhi. I relocated to Delhi for this.
So you are in Delhi or you are
Yes,
in Calcutta?
I'm in Delhi only.
You're Delhi only. Okay. Right. All right. And so your highest commission was 1,10,000. You made it. Okay. And
Right.
right. And you were getting salary as well?
Yes, I was getting salary as well.
What was the your salary?
My salary was 40,000.
It was 40,000. Okay. And then what happened? Why did you leave this job?
So when I joined in the company, they basically had a contract that I need to work for the company for at least 1 year. Okay, the 12 months contract I had, and otherwise I would actually be liable to pay them a certain amount of money. And when I joined in, I was kind of okay with it because if I want to get good at sales, I need to at least do it for 1 year continuously. I mean, I need to do it for a lot more, but initially I need to build that momentum. So I was okay with that. I was not actually looking at the money factor as the only factor as well, and I started with it. By the time it was November, my contract had actually, by the time it was October of 2022, my contract has actually expired now. Now the founder and me, we had a discussion. So he told me that he wants me to actually sign another contract. Okay, so another contract, which would be again an extended version of the same contract where I am supposed to work for 1 more year, and the same liability and everything applies over there, which I was not very comfortable with because at this point of time, there is nothing more to train me with the product. I mean, I actually understand the product and I know everything about it, and I'm like bringing in the numbers as well. So I was not comfortable with that, and we kind of had negotiation back and forth. I said I was okay working, but I was not okay with the terms and conditions of the agreement. And in November, we could not actually come to any same terms or any part of which we could both agree. So I resigned from the company, and after 2 months, January, I left the company.
Okay. And so are you currently working somewhere?
I'm currently working as a remote closer. I don't have a full-time job. So there is this coach based in UAE. Uh, I got I got him in touch with him on social media. So he was looking for somebody, but he was not ready to hire somebody full time. So he told me that, hey, if I can give you my leads, like what can we figure out? So I told him that you can, just I would need at least 7 to 8 days to, understand your product. And then, you could send me your leads and I'll close them for you. So that is one thing that I'm doing right now. I actually, after leaving Iron Man lifestyle, I actually started with Zobot as well.
Yeah.
Zobot is, yeah, so it is a B2B, or like it's a training platform which does about 8 weeks of training if you want to learn sales B2B. So I was thinking that, hey, I mean, I need to join a job, but like, why don't I just skill up myself in this time? So I joined Zoho. They taught me a lot about B2B sales and how specifically it was different from B2C. I learned a lot, many more things as well, like, qualification frameworks that B2B use, outreach on LinkedIn, email, social media, cold calling, and things like that. And yeah, meantime, I was working for this coach as a remote coach.
Okay. Right. And before applying for this position, Sachin, have you gone through the details, the job description that mentioned on LinkedIn, or you
Yes,
must have
yes,
replied to that?
I had actually been through that.
Okay. So are you aware of this position? This is on 100% commission based?
Yeah, I was aware of that.
Okay. And are you comfortable with that?
I am comfortable with that, although I'd be looking at something which is more because what I found, like, obviously 100% commission basis is good. There's nothing like which I don't agree with it in that. But what I actually found while working with this coach was it's kind of more like freelancing for sales. While I would actually want to be a part of the organization, because that actually promotes more learning, and it is what I understood. Yeah, if that kind of an option is open, then I'd be more happy with that.
Okay. So I do not understand it. Can you be specific or maybe elaborate? Like,
I mean, I'm open with 100% commission basis,
mhm.
not a problem with that. Although I would also like, I also wanted to ask the other person who would first get on a call with me that is there any hiring position also that you guys are looking for, if there is.
I still do not understand. Okay. So you are okay with that one? You want to work with somebody else as well? Is that what you are referring to, or?
Um, Yeah, I'm referring that I'm okay with 100% commission basis, but I was also about to ask that is there maybe in future or maybe later down the line, is there any chance that this will remain 100% outsourced commission basis only, or this might become.
Okay. I have a one question, Sachin. Since you have the previous experience, relevant work experience here, and I just want to understand it. What exactly before applying for this position? What was your thought process? Why you thought, okay, I must apply for this, or I don't know whether you applied randomly or what happened.
I did not apply randomly. I went through the whole job description, and obviously the thing that intrigued me was that what you're running is also a startup. Like I think I saw on LinkedIn that currently we're having a team of 10 people, around 10 people. So it's relatively a startup only. And again, to my mind, it was like, okay, I mean, this is again going to be an opportunity which is like where I can scale quickly, learn faster, get more responsibilities, and that was kind of interesting for me. So yeah, I applied for it.
Yeah. So regarding the Sachin, risk, growth, and scale, this is thing definitely I can promise, because this is what if what happens when you are very closely working with the founders. So founders have in mind a lot of stuff, right? It just like we are also just searching for people, the relevant people who can take care of things, because we cannot do everything by ourselves, me and Gaurav, right?
Right, right.
So there are people, like we do have support people, so he takes care of the support teams and all. Then we are going to hire people in marketing, that okay, the marketing also should be at least not 100%, but up to some extent should be taken care of.
Totally.
Because what happens now, I'm thinking to hiring somebody, some assistant to me as well, regarding I'm not handling my social media profile at all. I am not a person because I cannot go and reply to people and replying to emails and all. I cannot do it. The reason is I have other things to do. If I am doing these things, this eat up my time, right? So what I
Yeah.
generally think, it's better to I go on a call, talk to people, and close it. This is what I like. Now I think,
Better value for your time.
yes. So there are lots of things in the moving. So slowly and gradually we are just setting up things. Okay, this part should be, for example, the sales wala department jo hai, for this process, sales wala department should be stabilized, and then we'll move forward to the next department. The marketing wala would need to hire like 2 people more in marketing, the copywriting and funnels. Then also this can be done. Once this is done, because first the main thing is the finances to the company, right? That starts with the sales, then it comes with the marketing, then it comes to the automation. So this is this is our objective, or take this company to the scalable, sustainable. Obviously we have been doing it for 6 years now. Successfully we are doing it. We have not raised any capital from anybody. We do not want, honestly, because that's additional kind of a work pressure.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense, and honestly we do not want that. So yeah. And regarding the next growth achievements, things and all, so eventually that we will see by as we proceed further, what happens after 6 months. Because if whatever I say, just like in words, right, I cannot say things. So when somebody's experiencing, then only you would know. And what we relate is, I don't know how do you relate things or not. we we see other person life. For example, how I started my journey, right? How Gaurav has started the journey, and then the other person will relate. Okay, what if someday I have to go to that place, right? It is not about snatching my place or job. It is about somebody is dreaming to going from this place to that place. How this happened? How that person is going to help you in terms of refining the career, right? This is what we see things here. So similarly, we also see as founders, co-founders, or the relevant people in the industry, like if somebody joins us, how exactly this person is going to fit, and how this is helping our life, and how we are also helping in this life. This is like an equal contribution happens in terms of personal and professional, right? So this is what like I have in mind. Things, Sachin. What is your dream? What is your objective?
So I was relatively confused when I was starting out. I tried a couple of things, as I told you, stand-up comedy, stock trading, different things. Uh, but later, what I realized was in every aspect, like communication was very important. Became very important. Even when I was doing freelancing, because I was all the time pitching to clients in North America and all of that, making landing pages and doing that sort of stuff. So I realized that sales is important, and that is where I found consistency as well. Because like I was kind of told by my previous sales manager that, hey, you kind of have a natural gift when it comes to sales, so why don't you utilize it? And after that point of time, I made it a point of being consistent with sales. And eventually, I got a little better with it as well. Now, if I look at the macro picture, how I want to see myself down the line is not only sales, but also the entire acquisition management, or maybe revenue management kind of thing, which can include marketing, because I was able to, I was literally able to guide the previous agents that, hey, this is how you should make this ad, or this is how you should write a copy. And I'm not traditionally educated in that. For copywriting, I just followed Sabri Subi. For ads, I just followed some other person. So, I mean, just by doing that, I was able to guide him. And also, I had the industry insight. Then I was able to take care of the retention as well, how to retain our more clients. I was able to take care of account management as well. But but at the same time, I won't be able to do all of that at once. So I definitely think that in the coming years, I want to develop expertise when it comes to all of these areas, so that I can take on a more like position where I advise. Like we had an advisor in our company at Ironman. He was the sales head for Zomato India, and I kind of like I was actually jealous of the person that, okay, he has been working in, like, he has been working for like past 7, 8 years. And right now this person comes on a call, on like 2 calls every month, and he's charging us like 1.5 lakh rupees. So I was kind of like, okay, I mean, is this like if that's the potential, then why not? And he's doing that with a lot of other companies as well. So that was kind of what was in my mind.
There will be another round that will be a maybe that could be the last round, और उस round के अंदर will give you the situation to ask to how exactly the sales call happens, like could be the mock test and things it could be happen. तो वो हो जाएगा, then we'll start taking things if that goes well and you are okay and we are okay obviously, so then there will be a Gaurav as well. Gaurav के साथ भी आप बात करोगे, so we'll take it forward accordingly. I'll just get in touch with you, Sachin, and thank you so much once again.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much for
great
your
day.
time, Roshni. Okay. Yeah.
I'll get back
You
to you.
have a great
Ciao. Bye bye.